ACA-6M0, the Nakajima B-5NK, and the IITD-3A dive bomber have attacked America's outer base, the Pacific Theater of America's frontline defense, under Admiral Husband Kemmel. Our base had been moved from the West Coast out to Pearl Harbor just the year before, so that we could take care of the protection of our nation from this westernmost island of the United States. The Mitsubishi A6M0. This aircraft built saw action against the Indo-Chinese. The fastest aircraft in the Pacific Theater, a very light, long-range aircraft capable of fighting against anything that we had. The Nakajima B-5NK, a specially designed torpedo between the wheel wells. This aircraft would become infamous after this invasion. High above, the IITD-3A dive bomber, the red-tailed devil up there above us. Watch as he rolls up on the left wingtip, takes aim at the United States battleship, the Arizona. He rolls up on that wingtip, aims the nose of the airplane down, releases that 250-pound bomb. It goes through first one, then two, then three decks, alongside the number 2 gun emplacement. That great ship exploded with such force, she burned for 2 days. 1,200 American sailors went to a watery grave. They sleep there today. One of the young officers in the command center sent out a radio program, and he said, "This is no drill. Pearl Harbor is being attacked." The Nakajima B-5NK heavily unloaded over the special torpedo to be designed for this aircraft. They had been trying for over a year to make it work. They couldn't make it run shallow in the water at Pearl Harbor. They put fins on it finally. First one, then two, then three of them dropped their fish into the shallow water at Pearl Harbor, impacting the side of the United States battleship, the Oklahoma. That great vessel rolled over on her starboard side. She took 400 young sailors down with her. It was almost a month before they got the last of them out. Some of them had survived for upwards of 20 days. Watch the young men as they get their guns out. They've got 45s, they've got young rifles. They're firing against the invaders on that December the 7th morning. High above we see the P-40 Warhawk. Lieutenants Ken Taylor and George Welch managed to get their airplanes into the air. They took off from Haleiwa to fight against the invading forces. Between the two of them, they took down 6 of the invading forces on that December the 7th morning, 1941. Feel the concussion of the bomb as it goes off under your feet. Smell the acrid smoke as it burns your nostrils. And think of yourself, a young 18-year-old serviceman, away from home for the first time in your life. You're on the foredeck of the United States battleship, the Nevada. The Nevada skipper was the only ship that had steam up in the boilers. He ordered that great ship out into the Pacific. But as he started moving towards the entrance to the bay, the invaders were all over him like bees on a honeypot. He had to beach that great ship at Hospital Point to keep it from being sunk and closing off the harbor. The first wave was 183 aircraft. The second, under Admiral Nagomo's command, was 167 aircraft. There was supposed to be a third, but he chose not to send this invasion force in. Listen to our President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as he goes before Congress.
1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbending determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that America did gain that inevitable triumph. But it was 4 long years later, and it was 2.5 million lives later, just 2,400 at Pearl Harbor alone. When everyone got word of how successful they were, he closed his eyes and he said, I fear we have done nothing more than to awaken a sleeping giant and filled him with a great resolve. Ladies and gentlemen, as a result of the invasion of Pearl Harbor, America pulled herself together as she never had before. Rosie became a riveter. We started building Liberty ships at the rate of 1 a day. Young boys with their red wagon wagons were going through town, picking up trash and picking up aluminum metal and all of those things. Everybody was on ration tickets. America pulled together because they believed in the motto, remember Pearl Harbor. As we listen to the great Kate Smith, I want you to think about something. Please do not misconstrue what we do here today. For if America never becomes involved in war again, it'll be too soon. But we must never ever lose sight of the fact that America is the bulwark of freedom throughout the world. Whether it was World War I, or II, or Korea, or Vietnam, or Panama, or the Persian Gulf, or Iraq, and now fighting in Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the young men and women that wear the uniform of this great nation that allows us to be the greatest free nation in the world. Do you believe that, Oshkosh? If you put your hands together and hear you all the way down the pipeline, I want you to take a moment and when you see a young man or woman in uniform, stop and say hello. Tell them how much you appreciate what they do for us. And thank you for wearing the uniform of the greatest free nation in the world, because they deserve every pat on the back that we can give them. We are the greatest free nation in the world. God bless America! Ladies and gentlemen, the aircraft flying for you today are owned by the Commemorative Air Force. We have traveled them for the last 40 years. This is our 40th anniversary of bringing this performance to air show audiences all over the world. We are proud of the fact that the International Council of Air Shows awarded us the Art Show Award for Excellence in Air Show Performance. The airplanes were built in 1967 for the movie Tora, 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 and we have 12 of the remaining aircraft, and we're delighted to have the opportunity to fly in for you today. If you get down to the Midland, Texas, down to the Permian Basin, I want you to take a few moments and stop at headquarters of the CAF there at Midland International Airport and go through one of the finest museums that has ever been built, celebrating that period from 1939 through 1945. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Mark Allen, Dan Reedy, Patrick Hutchins, Mike Burke, Ron Wright, Bill Freer, Bill Terrell, Mike Anderson, Craig Cocaine, out in the Pyro Field of the Webs and all of the other fine folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Tora, Tora,